Carson, you're on the hot seat.
I think Coach will be up here.
Everybody knows who you are, right?
Yeah, right there is good. Good afternoon, everybody. Just a few reminders before we get going. As a courtesy to everybody here, please remember to silence your cell phones. And also a reminder that recording the press conference on your cell phone is prohibited. Video on your cell phone is prohibited. Please provide your name and media affiliation each time you ask a question during the press conference. We'll have 2 mic runners. Please wait till the microphone reaches you, and then when you get it, you can ask your question, and please direct it to who you wish to answer. If you are joining on Zoom, please use the raise hand function for questions. We will address questions in the room first and take questions from Zoom if time permits. Joining us now is the members of the Murray State Racers, head coach Dan Skirka, Carson Garner, Jonathan Hogart, and Dustin Mercer. Gentlemen, congrats on an incredible season, a memorable run to Omaha. And Coach, if you would like to give an opening statement to start.
Man, this this journey these guys have taken us on has been remarkable. Truly blessed, truly blessed. The leadership these 3 have provided has been second to none. Just where we were as a team when we started in August, and to end up here, these 3 are a huge part of it. Can't go unnoticed with that, but. Top to bottom, just a group that is special. I love them, and just they compete. They play the game the right way. I think that just it speaks volumes. You know, we talk about recruiting great people. I think we nailed that this year, and obviously they're pretty dang good baseball players too. And again, I'm just blessed to be on it with these guys, and let's make it. It's their day.
We'll start with questions for the student athletes, please. Start right up front.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central, and just for all 3 of you guys, talk a little bit about this team bonding and how you guys just became this just tough team that just comes through adversity and can come back from losses and come back the next day and just win that game against some really tough opponents coming all the way to here.
Carson, if you want to start, and then you guys can work your way down.
I think it just comes from the group of guys that he put together. I mean, there truly are. There's not a bad apple in this bunch. So it's really easy just to all get together and hang out and build that team chemistry where we everybody loves each other and we believe in one another. And I think that's something that you see with our offense when we play. It's never just one guy that'll dominate a weekend or anything. It's 1 through 9, always having good at bats, and that comes from just loving one another and trusting one another, and that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't say any better than that. We've worked way too hard in not trusting each other. The long hours in the fall, the weight room time. I mean, and you name it, we've done it, and we've just worked way too hard not for me to trust these guys and the other guys in the lineup. So no matter if I'm having a good day or anyone else is having a good day, we're going to come at you with all we got. So it comes from that.
Yeah, I mean, they did a great job talking about that. But love and trust, man. I mean, when you love each other, the rest comes easy. I mean, these guys, I have all the faith in the world that they're going to get it done. So on a day maybe that I'm not performing at my best, it's easy to not get down on myself because I know everybody's going to pick me up. So I love every single one of these guys, and same with the pitching staff. I know we didn't touch on that at all, but we know when our 1 through 9 lineup is struggling maybe a little bit that someone's going to step up and keep us in a ball game.
Eric Olson with the Associated Press. For the players, you guys will definitely assume the traditional role of lovable underdog in Omaha, which happens when number 4 regional seeds get here. Since your arrival yesterday, has anyone come up to you and said anything that would kind of indicate to you that that's where things are heading? Just the public.
Not really. Maybe I know a lot of people are supporting us. Maybe people where their team is already eliminated, they've picked us up as a team to root for, which naturally people like to root for the underdog. But I mean, people called us the underdog in the Oxford Regional, and we went and won that. They called us the underdog against Duke. We won that. So, I mean, I don't know. You can keep calling us the underdog. You know, I think that's what we like to be called. We like when people are doubting us, but, you know, I like where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we don't want to buy into any of the hype or anything or underdog story. We just want to stay focused on what we do best. The community support's been phenomenal back in Murray. We come home, there's hundreds of people there waiting on us. I know my hometown personally is going crazy right now. They've made drinks, shirts, all kinds of stuff. A huge watch party Saturday for us. So it's really awesome seeing the support, but we just try to stay focused on what we do best, our process, what we talked about a bunch, and we don't really want to think about it as an underdog story or nothing. We just want to enjoy the moment, be where our feet are, and just play the best baseball we can.
Yeah, I think Skirk said it well about a week ago. It's like a lot of people are cheering for us, but how many of those people actually believe in us that we can get it done? So that's why we stay kind of to ourselves. A lot of people said we play the game the right way, and I think we do. We celebrate within ourselves. We keep each other's heads up. We don't really try to buy into a lot of the outside noise because, I mean, no matter whether there's 10 people in the stands cheering for us or 20,000, I mean, we love each other, and we're doing it for each other. We're not doing it for any external factor. We're going to go out there and compete and try our best, and that's all anybody can ask of us.
Noah Bienick, 11.7. This question's for Jonathan. You've been on one heck of a ride in your college baseball journey. Can you describe the journey that you've been on, landing at Murray State, and just your feelings walking out onto Charles Schwab Field at College World Series?
Yeah, so I started out as a JUCO product at Wabash Valley, and then after my 2 years there, had a great run there, great group of guys. Went to Louisiana Tech, and then got injured there. Thought I was done with baseball. So I hit the portal, and then here comes Coach Skirka, and it's he called it probably the most perfect time because if he didn't call then, I was heavily debating on just packing up the cleats and never touching them again. So because of that, man, I get to sit here with these two amazing players and teammates and forever friends and brothers that, man, I'm just so beyond blessed, so thankful, and just beyond grateful that I get to do this opportunity with these amazing people and one heck of a coach.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. For any one or two of you guys, can you speak to the culture or what exactly it is within the Murray State program that Coach has built that allows you to thrive in this situation where you do go on the road in a regional and super regional?
I think he just has the utmost trust in us. I mean, ever since I've stepped on Murray State's campus, I had a similar journey to Hoagie, just a little bit different, but with injuries and stuff like that. I was also really close to hanging it up when Skirt called me. And then I show up, I had a good fall, and I broke my wrist, and I missed pretty much that whole year. In turning that around, Skirk never lost faith in me. He never even questioned anything about my injury, how I'd come back from it. There's never even that conversation. And then once the season started the next year, he put me in the 2-hole, and he's never taken me out. And I've been on some pretty bad tears before. So just having that faith of knowing no matter I'm 4 for 4, 0 for 12 with 11 strikeouts, he has that faith that I'm going to get it done when it matters. And that belief in me just makes me rise to the occasion as much as possible.
Piggybacking off that, we're talking about culture for the team. One thing that I would say is kind of the biggest quality that we have in our team is toughness. A lot of adversity this year, and I think that made us better, whether it's rainouts or moving our home series to away series or shoveling snow off the field so we could practice, or practicing in the snow. Funny story, my freshman year I showed up and it was about 25 degrees outside, snowing, and we had a 14-inning inter-squad. Well, I showed up on the field with my dugout jacket on, and I was warming up in the outfield in my dugout jacket. He didn't like that very much, being from Michigan, so I got an earful for that, and made me a lot tougher. And I think just that kind of speaks to what we are as a team, is that, whatever we face, we're just gonna be tough about it, and yeah.
He never wore his dugout jacket in practice again.
Never again.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. Dustin, you mentioned that we hadn't talked about the pitching yet, so I want to ask you about that. The run that Graham is on, has there been any part of that has surprised even you guys, even though you've been on this whole journey with him?
I'd say surprised, no, because I faced him in the fall. but I mean, it's absolutely incredible. But what he's been able to do against some of the top talent in the country. I mean, he comes into the game, and I'm like, well, we're in good shape because he comes in and nothing seems to faze him. Ole Miss was putting together a heck of a run, and we put them in. Stadium's on their feet, 12,000's on their feet. It is loud, and he just makes pitches and comes back to the dugout and sits on the bench and just acts like we're playing a Johnny Reagan in front of 72 people. And it's like, he's just one of those guys, man. He's one of one.
Unfazed.
Yeah.
This question's for Dustin, and Jonathan and Carson can also add in as well afterwards if they'd like. Missouri Valley Conference regular season title, conference tournament title. These last 2 weeks aren't a fluke. This offense is very prolific. You win most outstanding player in the Oxford Regional because of all the extra base hits. This field is big here at Charles Schwab. This should play to, I think, the strengths of this offense. Can you talk about just the 1 through 9, the quality of at-bats you guys always take?
Yeah. I mean, I think our offense plays at any field. I mean, it could play better at some, like you mentioned, but the way we play the game, it doesn't matter whether the wind's blowing in 20 miles an hour or blowing out. Hard-line drives always play, and I mean, some of them I hit that weekend in Oxford weren't necessarily hard, but they're well placed, I should say. But no, when you go up there and you have a good approach and you fight, it makes it really tough on a pitcher, especially when, I mean, you get through us three at the beginning of the lineup, and they maybe try to take a deep breath, but then you look at the 4, 5, 6, it's like, you can never let up against our offense, and I think that can wear on a pitcher, especially a starter.
Couldn't say it better. I think you covered it.
Nice.
Eric Olson with the AP. Jonathan, could you discuss the evolution of your batting approach? Obviously the leadoff homers, but I mean, you go up there swinging right out of the gate. You don't take many to start with.
Yeah. Me and Skirka talked last year, and he showed me a graphic of some strikes I was taking, and what I thought were like borderline pitches were about center cut as they get. So, the approach, I went to summer ball and I worked just swinging more and just not looking for such perfection in pitches and just looking for something I can hammer and move. So that's kind of been the approach more and more, and it worked a little bit in the fall. And then moving into the spring, I'm just trying to stay aggressive, but also just not thinking much. Just go up there and ready to go. I trust Skirka, I trust our hitting coach, and just trust in them, and they have that trust in me. So just trying to give our boys the best momentum early as I can.
Pretty good job of that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Carson, Jonathan, Dustin, thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.
You learn not to swipe your nameplates, huh?
Yeah. I'm coming back for it. All right, now we will open it up to questions for Coach. You can start here.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central coach. Can you talk a little bit about the senior leadership of this team and how much pressure, what that takes away from, your coaching staff having to worry about? I mean, these guys take care of themselves, it sounds like.
They do. It's a veteran bunch, and be honest with you, that's something I've learned in my head coaching journey is to prepare these guys to be leaders, right? We Dusty and Carson have been with me 4 years, so that's been a process, right? And they learned from some really good junior and senior leaders when they were underclassmen. But there's a lot of conversations. We've read books together. We have them at the house. A lot of conversations. Those relationships go a long way. But I do rely on them for a lot. We don't technically have captains this year, but they've learned from some really good previous players, and it just takes so much off the coaches to know that locker room is in good hands. And off the field, man, they're taking care of business. So, when we do get together, we don't have to deal with any of that peripheral stuff. It's just get to work and try to get them better.
Mitch Sherman from The Athletic. First time visits to the College World Series tend to bring out a lot of different emotions in people. What, if anything, has the last 24 hours been like for you? And have you at any point felt like you're having an out-of-body experience here so far in Omaha?
About 3 weeks straight of it, I had to be honest with you. I mean, we keep saying it, we've never been here, right? Going into the regional, I reached out to a lot of mentors. Hey, what do we need to do? And to be honest with you, our process hasn't changed, but just all the peripheral stuff that you have to do. And we've had a lot of help from some administration that's taken a lot off our plate. But a lot of out-of-body experiences. I mean, the adrenaline. I keep saying I'm running on adrenaline and Red Bull right now, and there hadn't been a whole lot of sleep, but just experiencing that regional was electric. Then we go on the road to a really good Duke club and just soaked all that in, had fun, competed like crazy, and then quick turnaround here. Less than 24 hours, and we're in the air flying here. And since we've landed, it's been go go go. But I mean, you see the smile and the look of just pure joy on these guys' faces. It's pure. I mean, it's pure. They're having the time of their lives, and they've earned it. This is my first trip here. I've never been here. I wanted to earn it, to be honest with you. And I know it's a bucket list experience, and a lot of people have told me that in the coaching community, and oh, you got to get to Omaha, and my kid's getting older, like, oh, you got to take him out there. And I said, man, I want to earn it, and thanks to this group of racers, they helped get me here, and it's been awesome, and we're looking forward to a little bit of a lengthy stay here.
Noah Bieniek with 11.7. Coach, we at 11.7 have heard from multiple Missouri Valley coaches talking about the quality and strength of this league year after year. You guys, as a conference in regional play since 2021, 17-9. That's Dallas Baptist in 2021. It's also Indiana State, Evansville last year. But Murray State gets to Omaha. Can you talk about the overall strength of the conference lately and Murray State's overall journey this season?
Yeah, I think it starts with a lot of really good coaches, and they've invested, and there's really good programs. It's been our third year in the league, and that's what's really stood out to me. And it's not just the head coaches, but the pitching coaches, the hitting coaches. Like, it's well-coached college baseball. And then you see the players, the number of draft picks that we've had in our league, and then the number of players that have moved on to some Power 4 schools and don't miss a beat. They're starting, they're hitting at the top of the order, they're pitching meaningful innings. So when you add really good coaching with really good players, that's going to prepare you. And when we joined the league, we knew it was going to be a jump. And it's done nothing but make us get better. On the field, off the field, we just keep raising the bar at Murray. And kudos to the league for preparing us, right? You mentioned a couple really good programs, so there's more of them. I mean, there's really good players, and so week in and week out, you got to be ready to go to win those series. So now, when you do go to Duke and you got to win a series to go to Omaha, we've played some really good quality opponents in a weekend setting to where you're grinding to try to win that series on the road. So definitely prepared us for that, and yeah, so yes, 100%.
Coach Harrison fan, SEC Unfiltered. This team obviously is a mid-major compared to a lot of the other Power 5, Power 4 teams here, but the way that this team's constructed and put together, 14 recruits, 14 JUCO transfers, 8 four-year school transfers, and 1 D2, D3 transfer. How do you kind of go about putting together a group like that is able to come together and, like you said, like Dustin said, love and trust each other and play for each other and just mesh and create such a synergy that has catapulted them to play at the highest level and compete and win against the best teams in the country and find their way to Omaha for the first time?
Yeah, the culture, I know it's cliche, but that's the number one thing on my mind 24/7. That's what these guys want, and that's what I promise them in the recruiting process, man. I don't promise playing time. We don't have all the bells and whistles, but I can guarantee them that we're going to pour into them, and that's on and off the field, and we really want them to be the best version of themselves when they leave our program. So there's a lot that goes into that, and a lot of it's off the field. It's it's small group meetings. It's team dinners at our house that my lovely wife allows us to have. We go bowling. We compete. In our conditioning, we do some different stuff, and it's all in an effort to get them to be together, right? They do presentations in the fall where they share some stuff, and it hits home. And when they can do that and open up, and then they talk about love, and that's awesome. Sorry. Because we try, we really do. We love these guys, and that's why we're doing this. Is to pour into them, right? I love baseball. I love competing, but I really love developing these young men, and to be able to do that through this great game, and it teaches all those life lessons. And I share my stories. I'm from humble beginnings, right? But to open up and to tell them what I've been through to help them, right? And it hits home more now with my son being 9 and wanting to be the type of coach that I want him to get to play for. And I get it when parents are turning their sons over to me and our coaching staff to lead them, to develop them. We take that serious. And so it's a daily effort, and a lot goes into it. Like I said, we're trying to prepare to win baseball games, but at the same time, we're trying to prepare, future husbands, dads, future bosses, right? And trying to do it the right way. And, and a byproduct of that's winning some baseball games and getting to do something cool like this. So again, I'm blessed.
Jacob Rudner with Baseball America. Not to continue to kind of push you into your emotions here, but to hear these guys give you the credit that they did for saving their careers and being able to put roster together the way that you did, how much does that mean to you? And I guess how much does that kind of mold this experience that you're all able to have here together?
We've had a few successes in doing that, right? A couple guys where they've come to Murray and it might have been their second or third or sometimes even fourth school, and when we've had those success stories, when guys finally find a home and are comfortable and can develop, it's easy to kind of sell that to the next guy and not feel like a used car salesman, but say, hey, we did it with Dusty, right? He got pushed out of a program and he found a home in somewhere, being from where he's from, he never expected to be in Murray, Kentucky. And Hogarth the same way. It took 3 times recruiting Hogarth. We recruited him out of high school, we recruited him out of JUCO, and then we recruited him out of the portal. It took a 3rd time, and you hear that guy, and I love him. And there's so on and so far. You can go back, previous years on the roster, and there's a lot of those guys. And it makes it special because we did pour into them. And they're great kids, and sometimes you just got to find the right place. And that's what we constantly search for. And I've answered some previous questions this week about the roster construction. And I always start with people that know me, to be honest with you. Whether it's a JUCO coach, high school coach, summer guy, a former player, an alumni, they know me and kind of what we're about, and then and I think you can sell that to kids, and that's what they're looking for is a really good experience, somebody to pour into them and give them a chance, because there's just, I don't want to say there's not places to do that, but they're getting fewer and fewer, right? The level of patience and development is dwindling a little bit in college baseball with the current landscape, but we're going to try, and we can promise them that. So when people know that and they can tell a kid that after he's been somewhere else and they gave up on him or didn't pour into him like we do, I think that's when we have success. They come to Murray and they're open, they're hungry, they're eager. These kids want to learn, they want to be pushed, and we definitely do that.
Hey, Dan, Eric Olson with the Associated Press. Just wanted to ask you some 3 quick ones here. Like, are you guys at 11.7 scholarships?
Not technically. We're just shy.
Okay. And I've read that you have to teach a class as part of your duties. Is that true?
I don't have to, but I do.
Okay.
I do.
I
teach. It's coaching baseball 2, and kind of a little tidbit is there's no coaching baseball 1. So I don't know where that got lost at in translation, but I get multiple emails each semester. And it's funny because they call me professor, which is weird. They say, Professor, I didn't take coaching baseball 1. Will I be okay to take coaching baseball 2? And, I kind of give them the smart aleck answer. If you try really hard, you'll probably be okay. But it's pretty neat. It's mostly athletes, and it's cool teaching them baseball. I show them a lot of the same videos that I show these guys. And at the end of the semester, we have a 20-minute conversation about baseball, just kind of informing them to be able to watch the game, maybe coach Little League later in life and appreciate it a little bit.
And the other thing is that I've read is that you cut the grass at the field. Do you do that, or do you hand that off?
I don't cut the grass, so I don't know where that started, but it's blown up. Obviously, I wish some days I was able to just put on headphones and go mow for about an hour and get away from everything else. But no, we got some guys that do that for us.
Jason Patterson, Allen CWS. Coach, you mentioned reaching out to several mentors. What are the best pieces of advice you received regarding being here?
Almost everybody said don't change, and I've taken that to heart. These guys are on quite a roll, and they're believing in the process. So our practices, we've been lifting, and you know how superstitious baseball players are. They're eating the same meals, they're wearing the same clothes, and that part's kind of funny. But we're sticking to what we do, and that's having fun, competing like crazy, trying to stay loose. But when that thing tees up, you can see how hard these guys compete and never give in. So really just trying to be who we are, and that's racer baseball to a T.
Coach, Ben Beecham, Omaha World Herald. What's the fan support been like throughout the tournament? Have fans been able to make it to Oxford and to Duke? And if so, what's that support been like to you guys as a team?
They have. So I don't know all the particulars, but I know our allotment for the Oxford Regional sold out in minutes, and people were fighting like crazy from Murray to get down there to the regional, and it was kind of neat because everywhere we went in Oxford, they kind of recognized us. Those Ole Miss fans are awesome, very passionate, and we had some great conversations. But obviously, when the game was going, they're Ole Miss fans for a reason. But after we won, so many people were rooting for us. Got a lot of messages and posts on social media that they're rooting for us now. And then, to get to Durham was unbelievable. It was about 50-50 at the Durham Super. The Murray fans, alumni, they came from everywhere, and it was neat. We had a former player fly in from Hawaii. He's military. He flew in. He said, I ain't missing this. So he took his leave and got in, was able to watch 2 games. And he said, I got to get back or I'm in trouble. So that was neat, and that just shows the length that they support this, and they feel a part of it. So they got to Durham, and I don't expect this to change. From everybody I've heard, they're trying to get to Omaha.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball. I asked Dustin about Graham. Was there a point, his ERA is above 12 going into April. Was there a point where you and Coach Adkins kind of thought, maybe this isn't going to take like we thought it would? And what kept you running him out there at some point?
Well, that's a good question. But a couple bad outings for a reliever and that ERA can blow up. It's tough because you don't have the innings to kind of lower that and minimize some of that. But he did. He had a couple outings where he got hit around a little bit, but he had a really good outing at Ole Miss, had a really good outing at Kentucky. So we knew the stuff was there. And you've seen it. I tell him all the time, he's got the slowest heartbeat in America. Just the slowest heartbeat in America. They said it. I mean, it's in between innings. He's literally sitting in the dugout, and you'd think, like, Graham, do you care about this? Like, are you – like, he's just even keel as it gets. And – so he was made for that role, right? And we knew that we had the stuff. Dusty mentioned that, facing him in the fall. But to do what he's done is obviously we didn't expect that. I mean, he's broken the school record for saves. I think it's 5 now in the playoffs or in the regional and super regional, maybe 4. But that's just it's unbelievable the run he's been on and the confidence that they mentioned players and coaches have in him. It's awesome. Really happy for him.
Coach, that's all the time we have, so we thank you for taking the time to join us, and good luck this week. Hammond Communications will post a recording of this press conference in the NCAA Digital Media Hub at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are provided by